the founder of eSignature, which is an online portal for shareholders to transfer stock or securities and obtain a medallion. Could you explain why someone would need a medallion?
Sure. So I come from the stock transfer background. I own Visa Stock Transfer, and we interact with tens of thousands of shareholders. And what a medallion guarantee is that anytime somebody wants to transfer securities, whether it's in an actual certificate form or electronic format, if they want to transfer it to someplace else, they're required to provide a green medallion signature guarantee stamp. And essentially what that does is it lets the transfer agent know that somebody has reviewed the material, and this stamp is confirming that this person who signed for it is in fact who they say they are, and that they have the authority or the right to sign this type of document.
So what's unique about doing this online? Explain the problem that you're actually solving, and take our viewers a little bit through the whole process of a stock transfer.
Certainly. So on the medallion side, it's really, and we're learning new industries every day that are requiring it. So for example, if somebody is inheriting stocks and now they want to have that transferred, so they would have to get a medallion guarantee. So historically, somebody could just go into the bank, show their driver's license, and it would be a free service, and they'd be able to get a medallion guarantee. What we're finding is, and more so over the last year and a half, is that a lot of the banks, both commercial and community, are not offering this service any longer. So think about it, and actually this is what happened to me. I had some stock in a corporate name, and I went to my bank, where I've been banking for 30 years, and I asked them for a medallion stamp signature guarantee. And essentially they said, sorry, the corporate entity doesn't have an account here. I said, you've got to be kidding me. I've been in this bank for 30 years, every 2 weeks. You know who I am. But they wouldn't give me a medallion to verify that I was who I said I was. And so what are people to do? If their bank doesn't offer this medallion signature and they have securities, whether it's $10,000 or $1 million, they're literally stuck. They have nowhere else to go.
That's so interesting. So why wouldn't a bank want to offer this service anymore? And you're solving a very unique problem, but why did they stop offering the service?
So I can't speak for them, but I would imagine, and I don't blame them, it's about liability. At the end of the day, when somebody provides a medallion stamp guarantee, they're taking on the liability of that transaction. So the banks are in the business of banking and not necessarily taking on this liability, so they'd rather just not offer it to their shareholders, but I would imagine they'd like to see a solution so at least they can guide them towards getting this transaction done.
So who are some of your biggest clients today?
So client-wise, we've really worked with anybody who needs a medallion. I mean, we're working with all the large stock transfer agencies and the shareholders that are bringing us their securities, whether it's Apple, Starbucks, Exxon, IBM. We're really seeing all the big names out there because, again, it's a solution that is applicable to anybody in the U.S. that needs a medallion.
You have interesting technology, I noticed, verification technology. Could you take us through the electronic process with the verification technology?
Sure, and we're pretty excited about it because it took us a little over a year to build. So as I mentioned, historically somebody would just go to the bank, show a driver's license, and that's how they would prove who they say they were. We took it to the next level. So a shareholder will go online, put in their information, and then our technology will generate 5 questions that only they would know. Things like, which of these cars have you driven, which of these houses have you lived at, what color was your car in 1989, and once they've answered those questions, we have a dual-factor authentication. So we'll send them a code to their phone and a code to their email. And keep in mind, Sylvia, all this happens within like 60 seconds. And by the time they're done with that, simultaneously we're running this name and this information through checklists, OFAC. So after that 60 seconds, we're pretty confident that the person either is or is not who they claim to be.
Well, that's terrific. And I noticed you recently also started to accept electronic signatures.
That's another technology breakthrough, and I give the STA a lot of credit because they're always looking forward. And so recently they've clarified the regulations so that we can provide that green physical medallion stamp on an electronic signature. So now shareholders, to save both time and money, can simply go to the website, upload stock power, and digitally sign, and that will come to us immediately for us to be able to process through compliance.
Seems very efficient. And lastly, I want to hone in on the innovation aspect of the business that you're in. Obviously, Equities loves to cover these industry disruptors. It seems like you're solving a very unique problem. Would you consider this reg tech? We keep hearing and talking about fintech. Is this a whole new regulatory space and landscape? I don't believe you have any competitors currently.
Absolutely. Both, I think it's reg tech, and absolutely we don't have any competitors at the moment. Essentially, we're always looking for innovation, technology. I know equities.com always appreciates that. What we're trying to do towards the future is that what we find is that a lot of the calls that come in on a daily basis, besides being from trustees, executives, or corporations, we're finding the need from a lot of foreign shareholders. So we're in the process of developing technology that's going to be able to validate whether it's from China, Israel, Canada, the UK, and I think that technology is where it's headed, and we'd like to be at the forefront of it.
It sounds fascinating. You touched on some of the global markets. Are you starting to gain a lot of international clients?
We're starting to, and hopefully once we have the validation technology in place, that will open up the floodgates, because right now transfer agents are most often comfortable waiving the medallion requirements if there's a foreign shareholder and if the issuer is willing to indemnify the company. But truth be told, when we've spoken to the larger transfer agents, they'd rather not provide a waiver, and in fact they'd rather have a validation of who the person is, and they'd turn to us to do that.
Well, it sounds fascinating, and congratulations for all your developments. We'll be keeping an eye out for what's ahead.
Thank you,
Seth, and best of luck.
Appreciate it.